first time I heard the intro, it was kind of like, you sit there and you realize like you're on the other side, like you're on this side, and I think that was probably the first one for me. I think against Philly. I think it was Philly. Yeah. But I think it'll come out even more. We'll come back here on the 23rd against the Wizards. But the season's here. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
How are those flaming swords you mentioned in your introductory press conference?
Flaming swords.
You said something about you always seen the flaming swords.
No, I meant just like the fire.
Yeah, the fire. Yeah.
I didn't know they were swords.
I think they are.
Until you said that. I just noticed like every time we're there, like if you have fire in the intro for me, that's like that gets me ready for a game. So like I said, to have that to be on that side and saying your name and your teammates and your team, that just gets you riled up, ready to go. And even for 2 preseason games, it was still loud and electric, and I can only imagine when we come back here in a week or so, or whatever it is. So I'm excited.
Is there any concern that you haven't played in a preseason game with Evan Mobley before the real thing?
No, I think we've repped things out. And like I've continuously said, like there's going to be trials and tribulations with things, regardless if we have played 4 preseason games together or not. I think the biggest thing now is just being able just to be acclimated. But we've practiced, we've done a lot of reps, we've done a lot of work together in our groups, and it's one of those things that he's a really good player. Sometimes it's just like, look, get him the ball and let him go to work, and vice versa. But also, from a defensive standpoint, I've noticed a difference playing with him in a positive way, and it's only going to make us continuously better.
Donovan, how do you define success this season?
Winning. Like the ideal goal, and like I said, the ideal goal for everybody in this locker room, everybody in this organization, and everybody in the city's a championship. And that's what we play for. I won't be able to give you that real answer until after the season's over, to be honest with you. But like right now, like that's what we're playing for. Everybody's 0-0. New start, fresh start. I haven't had the playoff success I've wanted to. This team hasn't been to the playoffs in a few years, so we're all pushing for the same goal and trying to get there and succeed and have to go far and take it home. But it's tough. It's hard to do, and that's why there's only one winner. But for us, it's like how can we find a way to continuously improve every single game, every single day, and obviously ultimately give ourselves the best shot to win the championship.
We talked to you shortly after you arrived, and you were talking about, obviously, why they acquired you and knowing why you're here.
Yeah.
But has it crystallized even more now that you've gone through this training camp and this preseason?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, it's you see where you fit. You see where you can put your hands on the game in this organization. And the best part about it is not only are the players receptive, but the coaches, the front office, everybody's receptive of just my input. And it's not like I'm coming here and it's like, no, like we're doing this, we're doing that. It's an inclusive thing. It's a group thing, and I think for me, being able to have that relationship with the staff, with the team, so early, so quick, it's made my transition a little bit more seamless than I anticipated. I didn't know what I was coming into, and now that I'm here, it's like, they're very receptive to a lot of things, and they ask questions. They ask me questions just like I asked them. So, you don't realize how much you know about the game, about certain things until you're telling, because I've played with guys who've had 14, 15 years of experience, 10 years. So when you're communicating with the young guys, you're telling them like, man, I sound like Mike Conley. Man, I sound like Joe Ingles. So, I'm appreciative of, man, I sound like Quinn Snyder. Like, I'm appreciative of those guys and everything that they've done to allow me to be at this point in my career and get better.
If you had to put it succinctly, like, what does this team need from you?
First of all, a leader, but continue just to be me. It's a guy who continuously, put the ball in the bucket, make plays on both ends of the floor, and more importantly, I think be a leader. Be a voice, be a calming presence. Kind of like K-Love and Ricky, in a sense. But for me, when the game gets tight, being that scoring threat, and also making everybody's lives easier on the floor, whoever that may be. But in particular, Darius Garland making his life easier so he can make plays in the fourth like he has been on a higher level. Evan Mobley as well, but also creating space. So there's so many different things I can point to, but I think for me the biggest thing I would point is being a leader, and that comes with a lot of different things, whether it's defensively, offensively, in the locker room, off the floor, voice by example, whatever it may be.
When do you feel like you first stepped into a leadership role in Utah? Was it immediate?
I think it became immediate. I wouldn't say I would say I think it became. I would say after the first 15, 20 games, you know. And like I said, I've played with some guys who allowed me to do that. You know, that's not always the case when you have a young kid coming in and you have older vets who allow you to kind of take on that role. You know, part of me being a leader. When everybody thinks leader, they think it's someone who just always the one who talks the most. But you got to be able to listen. You got to be able to be receptive to what people are saying. And, you know, I think that was the biggest thing for me, is just being able to be vocal, but also understand that I don't know everything. You know, I still don't. You know, and continue to find ways to get input from others. And, you know, like I'm always grateful for my teammates. Ricky was a big part of that as well. But grateful for my teammates in Utah who allowed me to kind of ascend into that role fairly quickly and allowed me to be comfortable in that, because we all understood, you know, as I started to become, you know, a better leader, a better player, we would go farther as we did. And, you know, for me, not abusing that and kind of doing that in a dictator way type thing. That was kind of like more like, you know, it's all inclusive. You know, how can we, as a group, make the team better? And that's what I look to bring here, and that's what I've felt the vibe was since I got here. It's all inclusive. It's a group team. It's a group thing, and you know that's what you want in the locker room. That's what you want in the team.
Naturally, the first game coming out of the preseason is you're gonna have jitters. Everybody has jitters. Anxious to get out there. Maybe a little bit more for you, but even for the team. So, what's the best way to kind of combat that, especially because you're on the road and you know it's the first one of the year?
Toronto's loud. I haven't played in Toronto. I want to say like two or 3 years. So it's my first time playing there in a minute, and you know, the crowd's always electric. They're a great group. They're competitive, you know. But for us, just got to continue to fall back on our work. There's gonna be nerves. There's gonna be jitters. It's natural. You know, if you don't have that, then I don't think you really love the game. You know what I mean? So for us, just continue to play through that. You know, understand that it's gonna be a little dragged. You know, they're gonna come out fiery. It's the first home game. You know, but understand that. You know, for us, just fall back on what we've been doing through camp. You know, regardless of we come out strong, we don't come out strong. Like, understanding that we've got to continue to go by the game plan, do what we've been doing, and fall back on that, because that's ultimately what it is. It's 5-on-5 basketball, regardless of the nerves and the jitters. It's 5-on-5 basketball. We've been doing it for our whole lives, and you know we've been doing it through camp together as a group, and you know I'm excited.